illnesses, realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. It just won't be the one you had envisioned for yourself, but time marches on. What the hell else are you going to do? I mean, really, what else are you going to do? Are you going to just sit there and feel sorry for yourself? Because I've done that, and it's a really crappy, it's not a good coping strategy. It's just going to make everything worse. But friendships, and the reason for this, this is not a strong suit for me. I don't think I'm a very good friend. Um, in fact, my mom had tons of friends and was very social. And it used to really bother her and my dad both. Like, you're so outgoing and people, because people are drawn to me. It sounds kind of cocky, but they are. But I have a really hard time with friendships. And it was kind of funny because I was reading a book last summer, right after my mom passed. And it was about dealing with unresolved emotional trauma. And it started talking about the importance of friendship. And it was really funny because up till that point of the book, I was like, okay, I'm on board. Okay, I'm on board. Oh, okay, I'm on board. And then we get to that part, and I'm like, oh, no, no, nah, I'm not quite so on board now. Um, but that same day, I came into my little room here and I was cleaning out a file cabinet, and I found a card from my mother that had a story in it, pasted in it, about sisterhood and friendships. And she had wrote a little note at the bottom. I found that the same day. So I'm sitting here just bawling. I was like, fine, mom, I will. And I've done a lot better. Um, I have two girlfriends. Those of you who follow me on Twitter probably know this. I have two girlfriends who, God bless them, they saved the day. They got together and they came to me as a united front this winter, and they were like, look, because I was working remotely. These are women I work with, by the way, but I was working remotely. And they both know me well enough. And they were like, here's the deal. Whether you like it or not, you're going out once a month. Now, if you don't feel good, we don't have to go to a restaurant. We can go to Amy's house because it's real quiet there. But you can't say no. That's the one thing. I cannot say no, which is fine. And I got to tell you, those two girls have made a huge difference in my life. And they made this past spring, which was brutal, they made it a lot easier for me to deal with. So let's talk about the importance of friendships. This information is actually from the Mayo Clinic because friendships are that important. It does impact anything that impacts your emotional health is going to impact your physical health sooner or later. But the benefits of friendship, it gives you a sense of belonging and a purpose. It increases our happiness. It decreases our stress. That improves our confidence, our sense of worth. It helps foster healthy habits. People who have good friendships tend to drink less and exercise more. They can help you cope with loss and trauma, including dealing with serious illness. If you don't think dealing with serious illness is not an emotional trauma, you're crazy and you've never had to deal with serious illness, but it is trauma. And you need to allow the people, and this is where I fall down. I don't like I don't like anybody getting close enough to see how vulnerable I really am. That's at the end of the day, that's just it. So I don't let anybody get close enough to help me with that, but I should, because it's important that we let the people who love us, we need to let them help. We need to let them express that. My girlfriends, they show me. And I know if I were to pick up the phone when I'm done here, if I were to call either one of them upset, I need help, they would do it. I also reconnected with one of my childhood best friends, and I used to, I used to always call, I used to call. I'm a morning person. This personality is pretty much it from the time I get out of bed until I crash at night. And she's not a morning person, and she still loves me. God bless her. But I used to call her when she still lived in town. I'd call her and wake her up, and as soon as she'd answer the phone, I'd just start singing. And I don't sing that well, but she still loved me. And we had lost touch because she moved away, and it happens. But then we reconnected a little over a year ago, and then kind of lost touch again for a couple months. But we are back, and that friendship is valuable enough to me that I pledged to her that I would call her every single day and give her a boost of positivity because she's in a bad spot right now. So I call and I sing to her, and I literally, the conversation starts with, "This is your daily positive input phone call." And it's been cool because it seems to be helping her sister as well. But yeah, friendships are important. And you know what? If she hadn't reached out, if she hadn't opened up, I wouldn't be able to be there to support her through the emotional crap that she's going through. So you need to let your friends do that for you. I know I went off topic, but so how do you make friends? You got to be patient. It takes time. You got to get to know somebody. Find commonalities. Of course, the office can be a great place to find friends. Although I'll be honest, other than these two ladies, oh, I'm going to sound like such a bitch here, and I don't mean to. I work with some really amazing people. I do. But really, for the most part, I'm happy to leave work at work, you know? But still, work can be a great place. I would not know these two ladies that take me out every month if it wasn't for work. So your office can be a wonderful place to socialize. Just be cautious about who you're getting involved with. If you're going to school, of course, the classroom is an excellent place, especially if you're a non-traditional student. I think that's such a cute expression. If you're an older student and you have another older student in your class, you guys have so much in common. That's a great way to build up a friendship. Church, of course, is a good way to make friends. Community events, volunteer work, community events. I used to go to 5Ks all the time. I would go alone if I didn't have anybody to go with me. I don't run because the fibromyalgia hates running, but I would go. And if I didn't have anyone to walk with, I just put on my headphones and walk. But you know what? I saw the same people at these events, and it got to the point where, oh, hey, how you doing? How you doing, Courtney? What's going on? How you been since the last one? I quit going because of a long story, but that kind of stuff's a great place to meet people. Volunteer work. Maybe you volunteer at an old folks home. Maybe you volunteer at an animal shelter. The people that you meet in those environments, they obviously have common interests with you. That's a good basis to start up a friendship, or at least to explore a friendship. And you know what else? You can go out and try new interests. You can go take a class. Maybe you want to take a class in, I don't know, welding or underwater basket weaving, or they have stained glass classes here in town, and blown glass, and there's all kinds of classes and stuff that you can take. And you obviously are going to meet people who have similar interests as you. But here's the catch. This is where I struggle. I can do all that. I can go to all those things. That's not a problem. Here's the struggle for me. You have to extend and accept invitations. I'm not very good at either. I'm just not. I deal with two pretty serious health issues plus a slew of hormone problems, and I don't have the energy very often, and it's so much easier to just say screw it and stay home, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy, and I need to be more active, and I need to be around people more. We're social beings whether we like it or not. Now, you also need to pay attention to the friendships that you already have. And I'm kind of hanging my head in shame here because 3 people's names just popped into my head. But don't take people for granted. If you are never there for your friends, they're not going to be there for you. Don't assume that someone's always going to be there for you. This shouldn't need to be said, but you need to be kind. Look, the last few years have been very stressful on everybody. And people are a lot nastier than they used to be, but you need to be kind. And I know for me, when I find myself, I'm aware. I'm fully aware when I'm being a bitch. And I try really hard not to inflict that on other people. And I will get really quiet is my first tactic. And then I'll just say, look, I'm sorry, I'm in a mood. Please don't ask me to say anything that's going to come out wrong. But you need to be open and you need to share these things. Just communicate. But the flip side of communication is you have to listen. You need to listen. Look, if somebody trusts you enough to confide in you, that's a tremendous thing. That's a huge honor. You need to respect that. So you need to listen with your ears open and your mouth closed. Most of us listen to respond. You need to listen to understand what they're telling you. You need to prove that you're trustworthy. For goodness sakes, if somebody confides in you, don't turn around and go spill the beans to everybody else. That's so bad. That makes you, it doesn't matter how juicy the gossip is, that makes you look like a complete jackass. And it will bite you in the butt eventually. You need to be available. You need to make this. Oh, and this is why I'm hanging my head in shame. I literally have 3 names, and I'm so sorry, ladies. You need to make the effort. Look, if you care about people, take a moment to tell them, even if all you do is reach out and say, "Hey, I was thinking about you today. Hope all is well." That's a lot better than silence. And it takes you, what, 30 seconds? People are worth 30 seconds of your time. Your friends should be anyway. Now, if you're not really outgoing like I am, and the idea of making friends just stresses you the hell out, it's still important. So try a mindfulness practice. You know what? You could go to a yoga class or a Tai Chi class or even a meditation class and meet people. Or you can start mindfulness practices such as yoga, Tai Chi, and meditation. You can try them at home and learn how to deal with your anxiety. And that's going to make it so much easier for you to go out and meet people. But that's all I have for tonight. It's been a day. We got a fire like 50 miles away. I think I mentioned this Friday. And Saturday, the air quality here was like, it was so unhealthy. It was like 279. And then Sunday, it got all the way up to 80 something. And then today, last time I checked, it was right around 200 again. So the air quality completely sucks. It's a beautiful day. I would love to be outside, but the smoke is kicking my ass. And I was actually like, what's going on with me? And I ran into a girlfriend at the store yesterday. And we have similar health issues. And I just love her to death. She was so cute. She looked at me and she's like, "Oh, I can see that you're feeling the same way I'm feeling today." I was like, damn, I really thought I'd pulled myself together a little better than that. But it's just the smoke. It's a lot of added stress to my system and it's kicking my ass. But oh gosh, y'all. I know, totally sidetracked. I'm sorry, but my workout this morning was so gosh damn frustrating. I did it. But I had to really struggle with my attitude because my left shoulder, I broke my left shoulder a long time ago, and I've got a lot of scar tissue inside the joint. Well, of course, there's times when if it's acting up, if my shoulder's acting up, it really screws with my range of motion. And I had to drop weight on everything that had to do with my arms today. Everything. And it really, it's so hard not to get angry about that. And I had to really work on reeling my attitude in. It's like, okay, this sucks and it's pissing me off, but there's no point in being mad. So I'm like, okay, I just need to focus on what I can do and really dial in to my form and just pay a lot of attention. But it still sucked. I don't enjoy weightlifting anyway. And to have to go backwards like that was very humbling, but I still got it done. I still did more than a lot of so-called healthy people did today. So there's that. But I am tired. I still have to figure out what the heck I'm going to make for dinner. So I hope y'all have a great night. You have any questions? Not sure I'm an expert on friendship, but if you have any questions about dealing with health issues, please drop me a line on Twitter at Alaskan Courtney. I try to be very responsive. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Have a great night. And I will be back Wednesday at 5 o'clock